Hail to the victors valiant, hail to the conquering heroes, hail, hail to Michigan, the leaders and the best. Michigan with a 91-80 road win over Purdue. And it's time once again for everybody to come aboard that one and done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball information, breaking down a very impressive Wolverine victory tonight, a 91-80 win that really was not even as close as the score indicates, in my humble opinion. We're glad you're here to break it all down. If you don't know, now you know. My name is Jay Heinrich. I'm the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train. Joined tonight on your viewing device by the man around here known as El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship. He does the ship, I do the train. At MC Holland 34 on X, the OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, Michigan dominating in basically every facet of the game tonight. A very impressive performance for the Wolverines.
Yeah, really impressive performance. Within the first, second media timeout, you just felt like this was too big of a hill for Purdue to climb. I thought Cado was spectacular, especially early in that second half. He had 17 points on efficiency, three-pointers, 7 assists. If he's going to play like that, this is a team that's pretty much unbeatable. You have these 3 bigs that just dominate the glass. It was kind of silly. Like, you just kind of look up and you see in Braden Smith guarding Yaxel Lindeborg. Well, he had 7 assists as well, because you're going to have to bring the double. And that's how you shoot 56.5% from 3 for Michigan. And vice versa on the other side for Purdue. It's just tough to get the 3 ball because you don't have, those stretch guys that can shoot. We know that, we know Mara can shoot a little bit. Lindeborg was 3 for 7 from 3. So even when he's not creating for others, you're doubling down on Mara or Johnson, getting kick out threes for Lindeborg. He just playing that 3 spot. I didn't know if it was going to work, but he's such a good ball handler too. Mara can handle it a little bit, and he can run some action through him, but it just makes this Michigan offense really dangerous. Jay, they have the lead for 34 minutes of the game, and it just, Purdue had some nice runs. I thought they came out a little bit sluggish, but more of a style thing. Where it was just going to be pretty tough to overcome. I like what the bench did here, Jay. Like, just great performances throughout. But, I want to give some props to Mara. 10 points, 11 boards, did foul out, but he was just a game changer on the glass. They dominated the glass. He was blocking shots. It's just a tough front line to go against. And when you get this guard play like this, Jay, like, these guys it's tough to beat.
Yeah, Michigan, an 11-point road win, went to Mackey Arena and just did whatever they wanted to all night long. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons if you have not already. Show your broskies and basketball some love. Show the Wolverines some love. Let us know what you think about them in the chat. Hop in that chat if you haven't already. Would love to see that liveliest live chat and all of college hoops light up a little bit. And if you're watching later on, make sure you hop in the comments. Let us know what you think. Is Michigan, is this the best team in college basketball? Let us know what you think about that in the chat. Can Purdue make a run knowing what they're up against with some of these teams that just have so much more size than them? We'd love to hear from you in the chat or in the comments, or at One and Done CBB on all the socials is where you can tag us. Let us know what you're thinking about this 11-point victory for the Wolverines on the road. Mike, you were talking about how Michigan was basically able to just use their bigs, do whatever they want. I wanted to talk about the Purdue side a little bit here, because speaking of bigs, a big game for big man TKR, 27 points and 12 rebounds, shot the ball 26 times. It was obvious that they wanted to go through him quite a bit. His post moves over each shoulder were really nice. Like, he had a really impressive game. His counterpart star, the Batman to DKR's Robin, our guy Braden Smith, who is the 5th all-time in assists in college basketball history. And I believe he had 5 assists in the first half, but he didn't score, Mike, in the first half. Not one bucket. Did end up with 20, but it was too little too late, man. This Michigan team was in firm control. Anytime Purdue would claw back, get it to 10, get it to even 9 a couple of times later, Michigan would just, we're going to exert our will again. We're going to get a couple of offensive rebounds, and we're going to make you pay. Second chance points were such a big part of this game. Michigan using their size advantage there. But for Purdue, Mike, what did you like about the Boilermakers side here? Obviously, TKR, a big night. And 4 for 13 from the field for Smith. Not his best night overall. But what did you like from Purdue, and what do you think that they're going to have to do moving forward to find success against some of these teams that are just play so much bigger than they do?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a pretty big critic of Purdue since, I mean, I thought they have the lowest floor of any of the top teams coming into the season. Obviously TKR, I think the one thing I will say, I mean, they shot under 40%, right? But the one thing I will say is the fight. Like, they didn't give up. They battled really hard. Obviously, Smith finishing with 20 points and 6 assists. It just kind of looked like they were out there just getting beat up, and they just kept trying to come back. I mean, obviously, they took care of the ball, so I like that. Only 6 turnovers. The score probably would have been in the 20s. A deficit, could have stayed in the 20s if Michigan didn't stop turning the ball over. But that just kind of allowed Purdue to hang around, man. But, yeah, there's just kind of nothing that went along with TKR and Smith. I mean, Smith wasn't that efficient, but obviously he's going to get guys looks. You look at the wing players, Cox and Lawyer. Lawyer started off on fire, and then he's just kind of neutralized. He doesn't really give you anything on the defensive end. He's not really going to be a creator. So it's kind of all on the shoulders of Braden Smith and TKR. Clough, pretty much a non-factor. I thought Jacobson battled pretty hard. He's a young player, the young 7-footer. Thought he looked all right at spurts. They kept trying Benter off the bench, who I think is kind of like a Cam Heidi light kit, where like he's going to be able to space the floor. It's just going to take him some time in some games, and they don't have time. There's no time for Purdue to. They kind of are what they are, and I think that's a problem when you play teams like Michigan, Florida. It's just going to be tough when they're going to throw out their 3-man who's going to be able to stretch the floor and kind of beat you up, and you're going to be able to run offense through them. You're kind of stuck playing in a box, and it kind of sucks for Braden Smith, to be honest with you. But they're going to beat up on, teams that are outside the top 10 in defensive efficiency are going to have a hard time, right? But we start playing these Final Four type matchups, like it's just an uphill battle, man.
Mike, where's Michigan in defensive efficiency? Where are they ranked?
Oh, yeah, they're number 1, by the way.
The number 1. That's right. And they got it done tonight on the road against Purdue. 91-80 the score, a big time victory. Michigan sitting pretty atop the Big Ten right now, 15-1 in the conference. What about Michigan's bench guards, Mike, impress you the most? Obviously, we've seen some roles that have evolved as the season has progressed, and LJ Case and Trey McKinney both proving their worth tonight off the pine with some big minutes and some big buckets.
Yeah, these guys have been so good that over the past couple of weeks, like Cado has kind of evaporated from the scene a little bit. Was pushing 30, 32 minutes. Sometimes in the second half, Dusty May's just deciding to go to the younger guys, man. McKinney's looked awesome tonight. Case and obviously both of these guys, combining for 7 of 10 from the field. They're just workhorses, man, and that's kind of scary. The thing about Michigan, like Purdue can't play different ways. Like they kind of have to play the way that they are. They can try putting Benter at the 4 and bringing Clough off the bench, which I think is probably their best move. But for Michigan, within the first 4 to 8 minutes, Dusty May can kind of understand how he needs to play. Like he can play the 3 bigs if it's working. If it's not working, you sub out one of the bigs, and now you have a top 15 big in the country coming off the bench and spelling your other 2 top 15 bigs in the country, right? So it's just a luxury to have a McKinney, a Kaysen, and the veteran Roddy Gale is there too, and Burnett, right? Like he's played so much college basketball, they can pretty much play any style of athletic. They want to put the Axel at the 4, and they want to put him at the 5 and run 4 guards with him. Like it's just an absolute luxury. And Dusty May,
the guy should be playing in the league, and I'm going to say that anytime we cover Michigan, Yaxel Lindenberg should be in the league right now, and he's just playing elite basketball, and he's doing, more importantly, he's doing what they're asking him to do. He's not trying to do too much.
He's not.
Like his ability could take over a situation if he sort of forced the issue. He's not doing that, man. He's playing a role on a really, really good team, and it's impressive to see. He stepped out and hit a 3 today. Like if Yaxel Lindenberg is hitting 3s against you, You are in for a long day. And I know he hit at least one today, but that was not the story of the game. This was just a dominating performance for Michigan, up and down. Elliot Cado, Mike, got the better of the point guard battle in this one. Do you feel like Michigan's ceiling is tied to Elliot Cado, or do you think that there are so many moving parts with this team that Cado doesn't have to be that conductor at the front of the old steam engine?
Yeah, so here's the deal, right? Like Cado this season has been so high and so low because you look at it and it's like, okay, man, he's knocking down threes. He's shooting 40% from three, Jay. What did we say at North Carolina? Like, can he shoot threes? That wasn't happening. Now he's shooting threes. The problem is that sometimes you got to take him out because he has a 24% turnover rate. So you play him 100 possessions, he's going to give the other team the ball 24 times. Like, that's where having some of these other guys like Trey McKinney, who has a 12% as a freshman, a 12% turnover rate, or Roddy Gale, who's sub 20 but has a lot of experience. That's kind of the thing, man. Like, if he's going to play within himself and not force it, they're really dangerous. And so, yeah, I would say in a sense that kind of their upside, I think is tied to him just because of his experience factor when you get into, postseason play. But there's other options here, Jay. Like, there's just other options that he can go to. And he's done it over the last few weeks. He was killing it in the first half the other night against Northwestern. And he was basically benched after the first few minutes in the second half. And here you go. They make a huge comeback. I think they were down 12 with like 4 to go or something. Next thing you know, here they come. So, yeah, this is just what a luxury. But this is kind of like what Dusty May does, right? At FAU, it's like he had waves and waves of people, guys. Nick Boyd, who's balling at Wisconsin, Vlad Golden, right? Like Danny Wood. Like, he just has so many guys and so many ways that they can play. It's really impressive, man. So, yeah, I just but
it doesn't feel like there's a lot of egos in that locker room. At least they haven't shown, they haven't reared their ugly heads at this point too often. This is a really good team coached by a really good coach. Cado had 4 turnovers today. Michigan had 4 turnovers as a team at halftime, and they finished with 14. Purdue did not quit. They fought all the way into the very end, and that's why you see a team like Purdue. If a team like Purdue can hit a few threes and not give up so many offensive rebounds and stick around in some of these games, it's going to have to be diving on the floor for every ball. Like you saw their leader, Braden Smith, doing, by the way. That guy has more floor burns than anybody. And that shouldn't be the case. Like, I love that he plays that way for his team. And he sets that example. And I only remember like really one other guy on the floor for Purdue, and it was TKR. Like, I want some of these guys to figure out what their roles are, get on the floor, get some loose balls, get a jump ball, whatever. And there were a couple of times tonight where that happened on both teams. It was a physical game. And when you play physical against Michigan, I mean, you better be ready to take every blow that they're going to give you,
It ain't going to work. Yeah. Like, it ain't going to work. Like, you play physical, it's like, okay, they want you to do that. They don't want you to have a 4-man that's going to space the floor, and now you have all of a sudden Mara and Johnson, even though they're very mobile. You don't want that floor to open, especially when you consider screen and roll, with pick and pop with Braden Smith. They don't have a pick and pop. TKR tried a 3, a couple of them in the first half. I think it was in the first 4 minutes, man. Like, he popped, he was wide open. They said, shoot it, and he missed. He was 0 for 2 today. Clough's not going to take threes. So there's just not that factor that they had last year with Heidi. I keep saying it's going to sound like a broken record, but they can't change, Jay, unless you try Benter at the 4. And you're kind of just, at that point, you're doing something that you didn't do for the first 3 months of the season. So,
from the standpoint of playing aggressive basketball, hit those like and subscribe buttons, by the way, if you haven't already. We got a couple more minutes before we get out of here on one and done. Show your broski some love. Hit those buttons. Purdue had 0 free throw attempts in the first half. So not only
that can't work.
Not only were they trying to be aggressive and go toe to toe with Michigan, but they weren't even getting to the lane and drawing fouls and and making them use some of those fouls. Obviously, Johnson and Mara both fouled out tonight, but you want them to use those fouls. Who cares if they use up all those fouls? Like, you want them to earn you want the other team to earn all of those buckets that they were getting, and neither team was in the bonus after the first half. And then obviously, Purdue amps it up a little bit, and Michigan does enough to hold on.
Second half.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a different game, and Michigan only shot 23 the whole game. Let me look at my notes. They had. I don't even have them I don't even have free throws for either team. It must not have been. Obviously, neither team shot a lot of free throws in the first half.
Yeah,
but Purdue forcing the issue. Obviously, they won the second half, but it was too little, too late, right? In a 91-80 win for the AP #1 Michigan Wolverines on the road at Mackey Arena,
one and done
over Purdue, the one and done #1 as well. That's right here on the shirt. If you didn't know, right there. What Mike's referring to is our top 25 power rankings that we have every Sunday here on the show. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of that. We got some DFS shows coming up as well, so you can get this bread looking like a Friday show, so you can get this bread on a Saturday. Make sure you follow us on the socials at One and Done CBB, but most importantly, hit the subscribe button right here on YouTube. If you're watching over on X, we appreciate you. We see you hanging out in the lobby, and we definitely appreciate it. Like I said, get over to YouTube, push the buttons, like and subscribe, hop in the comments afterwards. If you're watching this, on Wednesday morning with your cereal and your coffee, the best part of waking up is One and Done in your cup. You got to put it in right there, stir a little sugar in, and that's how you get me and Mike on your screen right there. So push all those buttons. Big time win on the road in the conference from Michigan. They are dominant, and that's going to be a tough out for anybody for sure. Shout out to our guy Eric the Blue for getting the studio ready. Shout out to Nate for pushing the buttons tonight. Shout out to the man sharing your viewing device with me, El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship at MC Holland 34 on X, the OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland, chopping it up with me about this 91-80 win for Michigan, steaming along atop the Big Ten. Thanks for hanging out with us. Push all those buttons. Take care of yourselves. Tell somebody that you love them. Until next time, my name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. We'll see you.